Hi my angels, I just wanted to do a quick my current foundation routine video. This has been highly requested and I thought that if you guys are asking for it, I'll definitely show. So in this tutorial you'll be learning about what foundations, concealers, blushes, bronzers and so on that I use in my day-to-day routine just to create this look. I don't have any mascara or eyeshadows or anything like that on right now, so I may look a little bit bland, but just for my skin in general and how I get this sort of natural look for my day-to-day. So if you guys are interested, stay tuned. Okay, so for my foundation, I tend to vary it up from time to time. Right now, because it's at that awkward stage where it's not quite summer, not quite spring. By the way, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not naked. I do have like a dress on. It's just a, you know, kind of tube top to the dress, so just so you're not wondering. Anyway, so my foundation routine varies from product to product, just varying on what the weather's like currently outside. And here in Ontario, it has been so strange recently. One day it's really warm and then the next day it's freezing. So my skin has been rebelling as a result, which is why I haven't got any product on right now, but if, you know, it's got a lot of sun spots, and it's just blotchy. So my skin just doesn't cooperate with me all that well when the weather's being a bit wishy-washy. So anyway, I just thought I'd do my current foundation routine. So what I'm using right now to prime my skin before I put on my foundation is Jane Airedale's, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, her last name, Smooth Affair Facial Primer and Brightener, which looks like this. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's what that is. It comes in a little box like this. It was actually something that was recommended when I did the chocolate tour recently in my city, and we had gone for a chocolate pedicure, which I'd never had before. Anyway, we got into Makeup Talk and they had recommended this, and it's the best primer I've ever used. Swear to God, so good. So right now I use this on my face. I don't really use a whole lot because I don't like the feeling of primer everywhere, so I'm only using a bit you know, on my finger, that little bit on my finger. And then what I do is just kind of rub it in here and there everywhere. I just find that if you put too much primer on, it just, I don't know, my face ends up feeling more greasy than anything else. And although my skin looks flawless, I don't really like the feeling of wearing a lot of makeup. Although some of you may laugh because I probably wear more makeup than the average person as far as my daily foundation routine is concerned. So if you find that it's too much for you personally, you certainly don't have to do that much. I just thought I'd show you what I'm doing. So anyway, I'm going to pull my hair back in this sexy little clip. Okay, so once my primer is on, my foundation that I'm currently using actually is MAC's Pro Longwear. You can see, oh gosh, this one's so dirty. But it's the NC30 that I'm currently using for my face. And then to apply it, what I use is the MAC, oh my gosh, it's all rubbed out. I think it's the 180 brush. It's just like this little bristle one. I just love it because the bristles are really dense, they're soft, but it gets the foundation in there really, really beautifully. You can certainly use your fingers as well for foundation. I just prefer to use a brush just for more control. So I'm just going to rub this in. The reason I also use Pro Longwear is oftentimes I'm out with clients for the entire day, which, you know, the average person is working during the day. And I just find that some of the drugstore brands tend to wear off really quickly. And for me, because my skin is probably one of the areas where I feel a little bit more self-conscious just because it does have a lot of blotches, which I'm not sure if it's gonna, show up on camera or properly or not, but it really is quite blotchy. So I do like something that is a little bit more full coverage. For me personally anyway, and then again, this one does last, I find, up to like 16 hours. And then even sometimes, you know, I'm out with, after clients, I have an event, you know, in Toronto or somewhere else, so I just need to make sure that my makeup lasts, because I don't want to put it on twice, because that's just a pain. I don't think anybody does. So anyway, like I said, I'm just taking this brush, rubbing all of my foundation in. And again, like I said, I just love the coverage of this makeup. I actually have MAC's Pro Longwear in a couple of shades, only because I self-tan, because on a normal everyday I am ghostly white. the sun laughs at me when I try and go out and tan. Not that I go and tan on a regular basis because it doesn't work for me, but I do use sunless tanner for that reason. I would love a beautiful caramel kind of color, and it doesn't happen without the use of something else. Anyway, so I have a varying range of MAC Pro Longwear because I go from NC30 all the way down to NC15 is what my normal kind of color is. So I get pretty pale. So, but I do have a yellow undertone, so I do need that yellow base. So if any of you have a pink undertone or blue undertone to your skin, you want to go for MAC's NW because that is their pink and blue base undertone makeup. So anyway, but like I said, it is more full coverage. So if you don't like that, if you like something lighter, you know, just try maybe one of the drugstore brands. I love L'Oreal True Match. They're fantastic, and I do use them a lot actually in the summertime when it does become really hot, because I find if I use MAC's, then I start to break out because it is a little bit more full coverage, and then I kind of have the lose-lose game of having to put more foundation on through the day. So it kind of stinks that way, but anyway, I use MAC's when I can for now. So anyway, so all nice and covered for most part, which is great. Okay, so once I'm done that, I actually apply a corrector under my eye. I don't know if it's showing just because of the lighting right now, but my under eye circles are horrible. Most of the time when I get up in the morning, I still look like I need sleep. So I look like I've been sacked in the face most of the time. It's really hot, I can assure you. And I'm sorry about the mess in the background. I'm having a closet being made in the back, so all of my stuff is all over the floor, so I apologize about the mess. Anyway, the corrector that actually I really like currently is Maybelline's Instant Age Rewind for corrector. I think it's awesome. And it's a dark spot treatment as well, so sometimes I kind of put it all over my face. And this is the light medium, or 225, that's what I use for myself. But actually for the corrector, I put it just a little bit in the corners of my eye and underneath, just to correct the darkness a little bit. And I'll let that dry. I know some people use this as just their basic under eye concealer, which you certainly can. Just be wary, because I found even with clients when they put this on, once it dries it goes a lot darker and you will see the cool undertone to it. So be careful of that, because like I said, it's more of a corrector rather than an actual concealer, although they do have concealers by Maybelline that are like this, and they're so amazing. So give those a try too for a good drugstore buy. Anyway, but for my concealer, once this is kind of setting, I wear MAC's Pro Longwear as well for their concealer. It's my most favorite concealer by far. It's the best one I found on the market that has longevity, and I don't know, makes me look the most refreshed out of all of them, because I tend to look a little bit tired from time to time. Anyway, so I'm going to apply a little bit of that to my hand. And then what I use is either my ring finger to apply everything, or I use my brush. This is the Sigma Concealer F70 brush that I'm using. And I'm just going to apply it underneath. So yeah, and as I said, this whole step of like concealer and foundations, I know some people hate the idea of wearing foundation on the day-to-day. So if you're someone that is like that, you certainly don't have to. This is just my personal preference for myself. I also pull my concealer across my eyelid just because I find that it does just as good a job as primer does as far as priming your eye to get ready to go out or kind of get your day face going. And it also kind of corrects the darkness that's on top of your eyelid. So I prefer to use that as opposed to an actual primer. And a lot of primers, which I know people swear by certain companies, I'm not going to mention their names, I just find the primers for on their eye terribly greasy, and I don't find it really does anything anyway. Maybe that's just me, maybe I'm doing it wrong, or it rebels with my skin or something, I'm not really sure, but I just find for me personally it doesn't work all that well, so I prefer to stick with concealer, because as I said, it builds really nicely, and when pulled across on the eyelid, I find it does a phenomenal job as a primer as well. So I don't know if you guys do that as well, but I mean, if you do, let me know what you guys think. I love to hear everyone's thoughts, because I mean, makeup reacts differently with everyone's skin, and you know, it's different from person to person, right? So And if you guys have tried MAC's Pro Longwear, let me know what you think. If you like the concealer, if there's something that you prefer to use as your concealer. Again, for a drugstore buy, I love L'Oreal's True Match, especially if I'm looking for something a little bit lighter, but generally with concealer, it's not like I break out under my eyes, so I don't know, I just tend to use it all year round. The only thing that changes is the shade, just simply because obviously I get darker as the summer comes, or AKA I apply more self-tanner. Anyway, so I'll put a little bit of corrector on some of the sunspots that I had because they are brutal. I'm sorry, it's kind of on the side that I'm not really facing the camera in, and I have a little friend down here that we have to cover because I don't want those out in public. Okay, so once that's all said and done, so I look more vibrant now, or I'm hoping I do. The next step for my face is to apply powder. Now powder is one of those things that I tend to skip from product to product. Right now I'm going to show you using my MAC. It's the Studio Careblend pressed powder, and this is in medium plus. So this is the shade for the medium plus. I actually really like it. It's a good combination between something that is not a really dense powder and it's not overly light either, but it gives a really nice coverage and still gives you that kind of matte finish, which is, whoops, oh crap, knocking stuff over, which is what I like anyway. I like a little bit more of a matte finish, although I know I'll get a sheen later on in the day, but at least for now it'll be a little bit more matte. I use a no-name brush that I've had this for years. I bought it in the Bay, God, probably when I was like 13, 14 years old. It's one of the best brushes I've ever had. All the other ones fell apart, and this little powder brush has lasted for so long. So I don't know who it's made by, or it's, like I said, it's no name, but it's awesome. So it's just a big fluffy brush. And then for powder, what I like to do is just pat it on, just so it doesn't move your foundation around. Ew, I think I just like spit there. Sorry, guys. We're getting real classy here today. So yeah, I just like to blot it on. And I don't like going like too crazy, even though it's a pressed one. It's not like a loose powder where I'm gonna have, you know, tons of powder flying all over my face. You gotta be careful with powder, because I find if it starts to cake and it gets all over, you know, your skin, all the fine hairs show that you're wearing powder and it just looks really cakey, so I don't like that. Anyway, so once my powder is kind of pressed on, I sort of blend it in a little bit. So it's just like a nice natural finish, which is what I like about it. Okay, so once that's all done, I guess that's technically my foundation, but I'm going to do the blush and a bit of the bronzer anyway. So as far as bronzer is concerned, and I'm going to use it more in the contouring context right now, I'm using, again, MAC. And again, I have numerous products that I use for that. And if you guys ever want, I can give you a makeup room tour. Once this is all kind of said and done, it's my office / makeup area, and it'll be walk-in closet, just a very girly area. So it'll be done this week. So if you guys want to see one in future as to what it will look like, I'll finish, just let me know. And then I also have a very big makeup collection too. So if you ever want to see that and the things that I kind of mill around with or play with, let me know about that too. Anyway, the bronzer I use is by MAC. It is a bronzing powder, and this is the matte bronze, so it is a little bit darker. I just find for the matte bronzer I like to use for contouring, only because some of the ones that have a lot of the shimmers in it, I just find are great for nighttime to give you that nice dewy glow. Or if you are looking for a more dewy glow and you're not going to be contouring with it, it's awesome. But if you are going to contour a little bit, then I prefer their more matte look. So anyway, for me, I just like to apply it here, and I just use a little blending brush. This is Sigma's Tapered Blending E40 brush, which I love it. If you guys have never used Sigma brushes, and I'm not an affiliate or anything of theirs, I really like them. You can get them in any kind of color, which may or may not matter to you. They do have professional ones, but they're a really nice quality, and they're not as expensive as MAC. So if you don't want to, you know, charge an arm and a leg, or be charged an arm and a leg, not that MAC or some of the other companies aren't worth it, because their brushes are great quality, but this is a really great option too, especially if you're just starting out. They're awesome that way. So anyway, I just use a little bit just to contour the side of my face, just to give me some cheekbones in there. And then I'll just take another fluffy brush and I will just contour or outline this side of my face, just give me more of a glow. Because again, we all know that I don't naturally have one. Oops, I'm pushing my little clip thing out of the way. Maybe there's some other pale lovelies out there watching this and you feel my pain. So yeah, I put a little bit of bronzer on my neck as well just to get the glow to go down a little bit. And don't you guys love these earrings? Aren't they huge? Look how long they are. It's really off topic of me, but I just love these. Anyway. Okay. So that is my bronzer. And then last but not least, as far as the foundation is concerned, I'm using a blush. It's a bit of a darker one, but it has a bit of a shimmer on it, which I love. This is Sunbasque by MAC as well, but it just has this really kind of beautiful peachy, corally kind of look to it, which I think is so gorgeous. And I'm going to be using my Sigma Large Angle Contour F40 brush to apply it. And I just like to put it on the apples of my cheek and then brush upwards lightly. Oh my gosh, this is driving me crazy. There we go. So again, like I said, you guys may find that my day-to-day kind of foundation routine might be a bit heavy for you. You know, once you get the blush and, you know, powders and everything else on. This honestly is though my day-to-day, it's what I prefer, but I'm girly. I like to play with a lot of makeup and, you know, that's just me. I like it. I find the whole routine of doing makeup quite relaxing. So that's that for me. But like I said, some people, you know, want something where you can run out the door. And if any of you want a, you know, a face routine where it's, you know, 5 minutes and you're, you know, jetting out, let me know. I can certainly do something like that for you guys. And then, so that's really my foundation routine. I haven't done my eyebrows or anything like that, or my mascara. But this is basically it. This is me all finished. So from here I would do my eyeshadow, throw on some gloss or lipstick, and my eyebrows because they look non-existent right now. But anyway, this is my foundation routine. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I will certainly put all of the products that I used, even though I said what they were, in the box below. But if you guys have any questions, let me know. And if there's any future videos you'd like to see, also comment and let me know. And I'll chat to all of you gorgeous people later. See ya.